Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of February 25th. On Monday night, the City Council voted to formally convey or transfer ownership of the Hyland Greens Golf Course property from the City of Bloomington to the Three Rivers Park District. We talked about this back in January, and here's a quick recap. Bloomington operated Hyland Greens as a golf course and a driving range from 1974 to 2020. Despite best efforts, Hyland Greens lost money pretty consistently, and the city looked at options to improve the course or develop a portion of the land, but ultimately Hyland Greens simply operated with a significant taxpayer subsidy to keep it open. In 2020, Hyland Greens was closed due to COVID-19. That same year, the Community Budget Advisory Committee recommended that the city pursue a partnership with the Three Rivers Park District for the operations of Hyland Greens. City staff and Three Rivers got together and came up with a plan, and the council approved an agreement which called for Three Rivers to operate Hyland Greens for a 3-year term starting with the 2021 golf season. In those 3 years, Three Rivers did an outstanding job running Hyland Greens. Revenue and rounds played increased significantly, and we heard from many golfers that the overall experience at Hyland improved. Now that shouldn't surprise anyone. Three Rivers operates 5 other golf courses, and in addition to seeing some significant economies of scale, they also have some impressive internal expertise on how to run a 9-hole golf course. The operating agreement with Three Rivers ended in December of last year, and discussions started about the possibility of turning over ownership to Three Rivers. The city did extensive public outreach on this issue and got some great feedback from residents and the golf community, including the public hearing on Monday night. Overall, public feedback was in favor of the transfer. Folks talked about the importance of the open space that Hyland offers, and most everyone wanted to be sure that the golf course would remain. Ultimately, the council voted in favor of the conveyance. Now, turning over a sizable asset like a golf course is not a small matter, but I will say that working through this agreement with a longtime trusted partner like Three Rivers Park District eased any concerns that I had. Some important aspects of the transfer agreement include the following. First, Three Rivers will maintain Hyland as a golf course. Second, Three Rivers is willing to invest the necessary capital funds in the course and into the facilities. And folks, there are significant capital needs, including work on the clubhouse, improvements to the irrigation system, and getting rid of that awful fence along Normandale Boulevard. Third, in everything they do, Three Rivers is committed to affordable recreation options for everyone. They offer lessons and leagues, and they've promised to take a look at recreational opportunities for the old driving range acreage on the east side of the property along Normandale Boulevard. And I think most importantly for a lot of folks, after our discussion of this back in January, the city and Three Rivers drafted a conservation easement to permanently preserve the property as a public recreation space and open space. That means the property can't be used for residential, commercial, industrial, or institutional purposes. The property and structures can be maintained or redeveloped to accommodate new or existing recreational uses, but it will stay as public recreation space and open space. The bottom line is that this is a win-win-win situation across the board. I'm very happy the city and Three Rivers reached this agreement, and I look forward to continuing to work with Three Rivers for years to come. Also on Monday, the council received an update on the city's public relations, communications, and marketing plan. The city communications team worked with a consultant to develop the plan, and the council heard an initial overview of the plan last summer. The plan intentionally and purposefully aligns with the key priorities of the Bloomington Tomorrow Together strategic plan. And the stated goal of the PR and communications plan is to inform and engage the Bloomington community and beyond. The plan includes a to-do list of strategies that will help Bloomington meet that goal. The list includes some aspirational ideas like building community identity to better brand the city and create a stronger personality and reputation for Bloomington. It also includes some nuts and bolts strategies like making sure that the communications team and staff from other departments connect more frequently so that they better understand the work that's happening at City Hall and work together to develop proactive communication and engagement plans and key messages for big projects. The plan also identifies work that should be done to develop a proactive crisis communication response plan. Now, there are work plans in place to deploy these strategies, and more than half of these strategies are underway now. For example, staff has developed proactive communications and engagement plans for big initiatives like the Bloomington Forward projects and the new Hatch Bloomington Small Business Pitch Competition. The next steps are primarily focused on media relations. Very simply, we need to increase media outreach to tell Bloomington's story. Specifically, Bloomington needs to identify reporters and other key contacts, build relationships with them, and successfully pitch stories about the good work going on here in Bloomington. The goal is to ensure the long-term success of the community. And, we all know it, but we want to make sure that everyone knows that Bloomington is a remarkable community where people and businesses want to be. There are plenty of other things on that to-do list, and to keep the plan moving forward, more resources are needed. Staff is recommending that communications look at shifting the duties of current staff members to add public relations duties. They also suggest creating an internship program to help with additional work and issuing a request for proposals for targeted public relations and media relations consulting for a 2-year period. Our discussion on Monday also included the topic of the city's digital communication strategy. There's a lot of work underway, and Bloomington has seen a lot of success in the digital world. But I don't want to shortchange the topic or the discussion we had. My plan is to cover digital communications next week in the Council Minute. And finally today, on Monday, staff gave Council an update on the Bloomington Forward projects. November seems like a long time ago, but I'm sure you remember that on November 7th, Bloomington voters approved Bloomington Forward, a long-term investment plan that will support 3 major community projects. Bloomington residents said yes to a 0.5% local option sales tax to finance $155 million in bonds to pay for the construction of a new community health and wellness center, the renovation of the Bloomington Ice Garden, and the enhancement and protection of the 9 Mile Creek corridor. The update on each of these projects is that things are moving forward. Individual project teams have been identified for each of the projects, timelines are coming together, and extensive community and stakeholder engagement is in the works. There is a lot to keep up with, so if you're interested in these projects, and I know many of you are, the best resource I can suggest is the website bloomingtonforward.org. It's the same web address that was used as an information site prior to the election. Now it's been transformed into a project page that includes all the info you might need, including project details and schedules, community engagement opportunities, and FAQs. There's also a specific email address for Bloomington Forward projects. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, simply send an email to forward@bloomingtonmn.gov, and your email will get to the correct person, and you'll get a prompt response. That will do it for this week's Council Minute. Thank you much for tuning in today. Until next time, stay safe, Bloomington.